So you know those annoying little apprentices who keep on saying, OMG, I'm so good at the game, when they clearly aren't. I mean, not to rule out my massive ego, but it takes quite the builder to flex something you literally have 600 experience in. Okay, I'm gonna draw an analogy. I mean, just imagine, you're, I don't know, at a basketball game, you're 20 years old and you're trying out for the NBA league, and this random second grader just comes up and says, I'm too good for the NBA, lol, XD, much laughing emoji, crying emoji. I mean, I probably wouldn't bully a second grader, but it's pretty annoying, not gonna lie. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna pretend to be one of these annoying little poo-poo heads and prank whoever challenges me. In other words, let's, I don't know, rewind to the second grader story. So in the other world, you probably would have just taken their ball. Now, though, in the same case, they dribble up to you and they're like, I'm going to dunk now. And they, yeah, feels bad, huh? I mean, it's like when you meet Angel Spell in Build Battle. She tells you, I'm not that good, I'm gonna lose to you, you're gonna have a great time today. And then you end up not having a great time today, and you also end up losing to Angel Spell because she's too good at the game. Oh, also, before we start, quick shout out to Chicken Prism who gave me the idea of trolling other experienced spillers this way. His Discord is in the description below, and as well as Digital, who, he makes really good thumbnails. He was also my partner in crime for these games. Okay, let's go. My nickname throughout the entire process was Paradise, with an A and an I, because I'm cool like that. But yeah, Digital and I conversed with some random people until we eventually found Dorst and Bars in a random lobby. This is when we said, looking for a teammate, experts and above only, because we are so non-egotistical and very humble. But we're also only rookies and apprentices, so they said no. And eventually our apprentice disguise was, you know, it was getting a little bit too well done because they started getting a little bit mad. So we eventually just agreed to settle with a promo battle and we joined a game. You guys have probably seen hundreds or even thousands of iterations of this island, but I'm gonna just add one more to that, but I'm not gonna commentate over it because that's just, you know, really boring. But, you know, I'm gonna take credit for, you know, part of making this island because my tutorial does have like 1,000 views, and that's like a big number, you know. Can I have like credit now, please? Okay, well, Bars and Dorst were our main two competitors, but Digital and I actually stumbled upon one other master in this game, which is Joju YT. And by the way, they're really dang good at building. They're in fact a main in pro mode, so that's fun. We had more competitors. I mean, we got this, right? Digital and I are good at building, sort of, kind of. Well, you're gonna have to wait to find out because, you know, I recorded this before, so I already know what happened. I'm gonna be completely honest, Bars was actually being extremely nice considering what was going on. I fail to understand how someone can be so untoxic while being intoxicated, but yeah, he does rap bars of straight fire. A lot of people like to build super tall with their island and like a massive cliff, which I guess works, but in my opinion, it's way too cluttered and you can't actually see anything. And I really like to see things. Like, seeing is really nice because you get to not be blind, and I believe that's super healthy. What a knee slapper. Okay, so eventually I moved on to the rest of the island with a castle design. And I just want to point out that I wasn't really aware that I had such a confined space for the castle design. I thought I had a lot more space, so I thought I was going to be okay. But I didn't, so I was not okay. Yeet mini castles. It looks terrible, but you know, it works because well, if it didn't work, then it didn't work. It's kind of up to your opinion. But you know, in my opinion, it worked because it exists, and it exists in a way where it looks like half okay. I mean, I think it worked just because it looks sort of cool. But yeah, I added a little bit of decorations to my mini castle and got straight to spamming the pasting of it just everywhere on the entire plot because I had practically no logic in building this build. I just wanted the island to look okay because island is so overbuilt these days. So, you know, I think I did an okay job with this island. I'll give you that much. And then we went to angel mode and then added some trees and then added some leaves. Just pretty standard stuff. You know, there's not really that much to this build, but what there is to it is the fact that we were about to piss off some very mad people. So moving straight into voting after these 7 seconds, things were about to get a little bit ugly, or maybe not. You'll find out in a little bit. But yeah, first build up was my build. And, well, without knowing what my build was, here's what they had to say about it. Hell yeah. Well, here's Digital's build. By the way, this is what I meant when I meant cluttered, but good job to him because, you know, at the end of the day, he still managed to win. There you go. But yeah, when we bullied Bars and Doors for a little bit for not coming in top 3, they just retaliated by saying, oh yeah, but you guys suck too, right? But Bars was being super nice, so well, that was fun. But eventually, it was time for me to reveal myself. Bars instantly knew who I was, but it seems like I'm still hella relevant because after 5 minutes of explaining, Doors still had no clue who I was. But they apologized for being toxic, so I guess that's at least pretty cool. Thanks, Doors. And then the party got bigger. Joju and Bars both joined us on alt, and we were getting ready to infiltrate something much more than some random lobby people. On my main account, I told my guild that I was being harassed by a bunch of random apprentices, and that I wanted to crush them with the full force of the entire guild. The unfortunate victims in the guild fell straight into place, and by victims obviously I mean Reforest. And if you're watching this, I am sorry guys. But not really, because it was really funny. Instantly though, there was an argument that broke out. Logvi, Ufis, iTheory, and a couple more guild members instantly began to suppress our ego, quite despising us as apprentices. I mean, like, you know, Bars was a lot nicer. It quickly became a 6v4, and the 6 unsuspecting guild members and us 4 alt accounts came into block-to-block combat and started furiously building. You could say that the theme Under the Sea really drowned out our emotions, huh? Okay, I'm sorry, subscribe. So the theme was Under the Sea, and my idea was to build, you know, a boat as a shipwreck inside of some sort of a coral thing. And now I really do regret not building the coral thing first, because that was a pain in the butt later on. So I actually managed to start out with a boat, which I guess made the boat's building process a little bit easier, but should have started with the Pro Tools floor in the first place. Anyway, I changed the floor to sand and then, you know, started building some things. But someone in chat said, I'm finished, and of course I had to respond by being as toxic as I humanly possibly could to make people mad at me, and some people found it pretty funny, so I'm sorry Roger if you're watching this video for any particular reason. And then they told me they were Spanish, so I said Puertocito, and if any of you Spanish viewers are watching, just translate that for me, because I do not know what that means. I know that Buenos Dias means like good morning, I think. This isn't culture appropriation because I'm genuinely trying to learn a new language, haha. I don't know what Roger responded with either, but anyway, so moving back to the boat. So I was trying to fill in my shape of going up and dipping back down with the dark oak using spruce wood, and spruce wood is a really nice block of wood because it is the brownest block of wood. It's not, you know, saturated with any redness, or it isn't really light either. It's just, you know, the most average block of wood you can really have. I mean, I guess Oakwood can also claim that title, but shush, cause I prefer spruce wood, okay? Anyway, so after finishing up the first side of the boat, I actually moved on to the next side, and I decided, you know what? I don't want to spend my entire time just filling up this random wooden structure. So I actually decided to give the boat a little bit of, you know, what would you call that? Like the structural remains? Yeah, so I actually filled up this last little bit over here, but I left a lot of, you know, the holes in, as if it was just being supported by just a couple pieces of wood, and if these were gone, the boat would perish as well. So it seemed like a relatively old shipwreck. As you can see, I'm just building one beam, and I'm not actually filling up the entire boat. So yeah, that's kind of what I did with the boat, just to save a little bit of time so I can move on to the coral and maybe even build a couple of Nemos somewhere else. Anyway, I also claim to be the Technoblade of Build Battle, which, you know, it's pretty nice to make people think that you're the Technoblade of Build Battle because, yeah, and also Logv said Technoblade ain't even good at PvP, so, yes he is. At least I think so, because I cannot beat Technoblade at PvP, so therefore Technoblade is good. In my perspective, alright, Logv? We chill? Cool. Alright, moving on. I'm just quickly building up these masks. Wear some masks outside, by the way, because coronavirus is pretty deadly. Anyway, yeah, I built some masts with this white wool, and it's kind of, you know, I guess you call that flowing backwards, as if it's being pushed by water. The mast is sort of ripped apart, and all the sails are just, you know, kind of being pushed backward by the waves, I would assume. But yeah, it's kind of flowing in the back, and there we go, the boat is now finished. So moving on, I wanted to quickly build up the entirety of the coral reef. So with corals, pretty much you kind of just want a couple of different coral plants that you know what they look like, so that you can really emulate these accurately. And evidently I built one pink one, which was kind of like a fern plant sort of, but it's really stick figure-ish. And then I added a bunch of blue thingies which are more blocky, and these blue ones were hand built because I wanted them to all seem to have a different shape, because otherwise it genuinely looked like it was copy pasted, which I didn't want it to give off that kind of appeal. So yeah. Moving on though, I did do some seagrass, because seagrass is fun to build. It's literally just straight up, and then the copy pasting was even easier. So this definitely saved me a lot of time and actually gave the build a ton of detail, because seagrass it just so happens to be really detailed, despite it just being a couple pillars. Like, you know, Morph Pillar has some competition about now. Anyway, moving on, I added some sea lanterns on the floor before changing to nighttime, because sea lanterns will light up the build, believe it or not, because it's a light source. If you're a veteran Minecraft player, then you would know that. But yeah, so after filling up the rest of the plot with a little bit of leaf spam, because I like to build with Angel Spells style, if I can't even mimic Angel Spell style, she's too good, but yeah. There we go. The entire boat was complete, and for our first build we're going to be taking a look at, this is Digital Africa, or Digital as we call him these days, because he changed the name. And as you can see, he has some pretty cool Nemos, and it was a really good build. And now here is my butt. I mean my boat. So yeah, I mean there's not really that much to it. It's a boat, and it's pretty cool, I think. And it got a legendary, so that's nice. But yeah, we ended up winning with 119 points, so that's pretty cool, and everybody got super toxic, so I'm gonna cut the video off before things get a little bit out of control. But yeah, thanks everybody so much for watching this video. If you did like the video, be sure to smash like down below. But yeah, also if you're not already subscribed, I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel, because it helps me out, and I also feel happier. It's also really free to subscribe, so like, you know, if you want to do it, I'll appreciate you. My Discord link is down in the description below, as well as Chicken Prisms if you want to join a server. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!